Good morning. Here we are on a sunny day in the UK, and hopefully it's sunny where you are. And I'll be honest, I'm not 100% awake this morning. Not because I don't want to be, just a few chaotic days, very busy days. My partner is hosting a retreat which started yesterday, and for those that run events, you know that things are normally right to the last minute. And yeah, it's all cool. It's all started off. So today is that kind of day after things start to get going. Anyway, let's come straight into the subject that I want to discuss this morning, which you can see up here is finding your formula. And the most important part of that is that element of it, finding your formula. It's not about my formula. It's not about their formula. It's not about anybody else's. It's your formula. My name's Martin. Conscious development is my thing, bringing awareness to all that we do and offering feedback in relation to, once you know about these things, that development areas that come into your life, you can either choose to do something about them or you can ignore them. But if you ignore them, they will circle back around at some point. The universe will present you with situations in order for you to learn the lessons. And as we know, sometimes we ignore those lessons and sometimes we dig into them. And that's where the real potential of you lies, in those lessons. So this morning, finding your formula. This was a phrase that came from just figuring things out, finding a formula that works. And I use this in a training when I was training with some peer coaches. And yes, we do training. It's a continual process. So it isn't something that's just done once and that's it. It's continually working on ourselves and how we deliver things. And I said it's like finding your formula. And it just kind of clicked. Sure, I use a framework, okay, the conscious development framework. And it's there. And we focus on these key 5 areas of our world, ourself being the first one, our well-being, relationships, finances, and then our fulfillment, what we're here to do, and aligning those all the way through and looking at areas that either take us away from that alignment or towards that alignment. And in amongst that, it's finding your formula. Okay, so there's a structure there. There's key elements that are really important and be proven over time to work when it comes to living an aligned life, a life that we're happy with and one that we really want to dig into. But the issue is that a lot of people try to do a cookie cutter approach, which is you, and we'll use this word, should do this. You should do that. They should do this. And people end up getting shoulded all over. Now, how about changing it around with language is, have you thought of trying this? Potentially what would happen if you did this? Because should puts an emphasis that you're trying to fit somebody into a box, and that's not what it's about. On my last live, I was talking about starting again, and there was a simple formula that I put up, something which has come to me from many years of being in the development space. And I'll be honest, I don't know the source of it. I don't know the origin of it. I think it's something I learned in the 90s, and it was either shown to me, it was written down on back then as a back of cigarette packet or a beer mat or whatever it was, and it's always stuck with me. Okay, it's 4 areas of our world. And I know there's a reflection going on there, so it might be a little bit difficult to add, subtract, multiply, and divide. And when it comes to finding our formula, think about the things that are in your world that need to be taken away. Okay, and the things that need to be added. Sorry, I haven't quite figured out to point like that without turning around to check that I'm looking at the right one. Because until we remove certain things from our world, the universe isn't allowing us to introduce new things. And you could say the universe, manifestation laws of how we live. Excuse me, my left eye has decided to kind of almost close up for a minute then. Anyway, maybe that's awakeness catching up with us, or awakeness not catching up. But the universe wants to present us with prosperity situations. But if we've got a life filled with things that are blocking that plus, and the things that are going to come in that are going to multiply the value in our worlds, they're not going to appear. They're not going to be present because we're blocking it. Now, it could be our own beliefs. It could be our language. It could be our environment. It could be our associations. It could be our habits and our processes and the way we go about our day that is blocking those things, and whatever they are. What introduced into my world may be completely different for you. I would expect it to be so. I would like to think it's based on good values and beliefs and it serves you at the heart of it. Because fundamentally, this is where people tend to ignore the key element of finding your formula, which is this element. It's yours. People go, that's selfish. That's not selfish. It's not selfish at all. It's survival. We are in a world, the digital matrix. Everything is trying to endeavor to push us down this direction, this route that someone wants to pitch something to us, sell something to us. And you could counter this live as saying, well, that's what you're aiming to do, Martin. Yeah, sure. I would love to work with you. I would love to work with anyone that if you're watching this on a replay and someone might have shared this with you or someone's commented. Sure. But I'm not going to push my agenda onto you for the sake of just getting business, because that doesn't serve my long-term prosperity. It definitely doesn't serve your long-term prosperity. That's what I'm about here. It's about opening up your thought processes, helping you discover and realize that, through applied, directed, focused action, we can change the way we think and the way we move. Our neural pathways can be reformed. The way that we operate in the world can be reformed. But the thing is, what tends to happen is after 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 decades, individuals believe, and I'm not saying you do, but individuals believe they are hardwired, that that's just how it is. And that's not the case. Sure, it's harder. The more programs and the narratives we've got within us and the environments we're in, the relationships we're with, our career, our situations, it's harder to maybe change course. But as the phrase goes, if you want an easy life, make hard decisions. But if you want a hard life, just make the easy decisions. No, I can't be bothered. No, I'm not interested in doing that. I'm not interested in creating a formula for myself. Why would I? Because there's a belief there that you may not deserve it. We start to dig into worthiness. We start to dig into all these values. I'm just very mindful because I do have an alarm that's always set for 8:10, so we switch off. So as we come into the last 3 minutes of this, think about the things that are in your world. Are they serving your formula? And the reason I went quiet then, because having a cup of coffee, and I must admit, it's my second cup of coffee, and there's 2 trains of thoughts. Is coffee's not the best thing to have first thing in the morning, or it is, or some people couldn't survive without it. I like the taste of coffee. I'm not a coffee connoisseur. We make a nice cup, it's okay. And that's my formula. Because as I wake up and I go through my thoughts and I go through my gratitude processes, because that's a big superpower that a lot of people tend to miss, is being grateful for who you are, how you're here, because we could quite easily not be. Okay, so that's part of my formula. Some mornings I wake up and I may want to stretch. Some mornings I don't, because that's the last thing I want to do. I don't want to be cracking a whip at myself going, you must do this, you must do that, because you're tripping yourself up. The directed language that you're putting into oneself isn't going to serve you forward. It's going to give you a hard time and almost make you think that you can never achieve that level of, oneness, or that like that pure way of living. That's the ultimate utopian kind of way. Because let's be honest, 21st century living is tough. Everyone wants something from us, but bring it back to our core. Everything in your world is either serving your formula or it's not. So what could you do today? Think about your world, your life. Okay, something you could take away from your world to allow and to support this prosperity vacuum that the universe operates within, to add something to your life. It could be a little habit like, I'm going to stop going through to so many drive-throughs because I hate that feeling afterwards. Yeah, sure, I get that little spike of serotonin. It feels great. I've rewarded myself. With what? Crap. I know, I've done it. I do it. I still do it. We don't all live a perfect life. But say you do that 4 times a week. How could you reduce that to once a week? Okay, and that's just a simple thing. How would you feel doing that a month on? And that's the point. All of these things are little incremental things. Now, I get it, okay, because I've had young kids, and drive-through sometimes are the best option. Okay, let's hold my hands up there. Both hands. But if you're an adult in a situation moving forward and you want to leave a legacy and an imprint in your world, okay, these habits and these programs and these narratives, I would suggest, not should, could be challenged, could be changed, could be adapted to serve you at the heart of it. Because if we think about my model, the conscious development map, and if I put this up quickly, and if you want this, by all means, you can scan the QR code and That's the alarm going off. This self right at the core. Okay, this is the focus of all our work. And I suggest that will be the focus of all your work. So think about this today as you go through finding your formula, the things in your world. Are they serving your formula? And it's okay to not know a formula, because a formula comes from various ingredients and a combination of all of those and how they work together. That's the very practical, basic approach, as all my work is. I'm not going to intellectualize things. So think about these things today. What things are helping you find your formula? And if you'd like to connect, as I said, scan the QR code. I'm back again on Thursday at 8 o'clock. Have a wonderful day. And please, I encourage you wholeheartedly to be conscious about your development.